Death Valley is famous for its extremes: scorching heat, eerie salt flats, and alien-like landscapes. But on this trip, we saw something so unexpected. Surprising.
Oh my God.
Okay? This is an animal that we did not think we would see.
Never have I ever.
Period. This is my third visit to Death Valley National Park, and it never fails to impress me. It holds the record for the hottest verified air temperature on Earth, 134 degrees Fahrenheit, recorded at Furnace Creek in 1913. Hey, today in May, 104. And this is why it's imperative that you carry water in your vehicle. And we have a lot of water, which is very important. And on your person when walking the trails or driving through the desert park. Now, Death Valley is also the driest place in the United States. You know, some years it gets no rain at all. And it's home to the lowest elevation in North America, Badwater Basin, and it's at 282 feet below sea level. And yet, people lived here. This is the ancestral land of the Timbisha Shoshone, who found ways to survive in one of the harshest places on Earth. If this is your first time here, I advise starting at the Furnace Creek Visitor Center. You'll learn what shaped this landscape and how anything manages to survive here. Take this kangaroo rat, for example. Did you know it can go its entire life without even drinking water? It gets all the moisture it needs from the seeds it eats. And while we expected to see some resilient desert creatures, we did not expect what we saw later in the day. Death Valley has a rich mining history. There are thousands of abandoned mining holes in the park. Unfortunately, many miners had to learn that even though the park was rich in resources, that alone did not make a paying mine. Gold, talc, and borax were the big three. Borax in particular formed in dried up salt lake beds, but only where volcanic activity added boron-rich lava to the mix. One of my favorite spots in the park is Zabriskie Point. It's named after Christian Zabriskie from the Pacific Coast Borax Company, and it offers stunning views of the valley's Badlands. It actually reminded me a little of our visit last year to Badlands National Park in South Dakota. Got a video if you're interested. And for you Star Wars fans, shots of this landscape helped inspire the planet Arvala 7 in The Mandalorian. I also love Badwater Basin, that lowest point in North America. It's surreal, crunchy salt that covers nearly 200 square miles. It's mostly sodium chloride, table salt, but also contains borax, calcite, and gypsum. Now, the water here won't kill you, but it is very, very salty. So I'm walking across the flats at dusk. It felt like snow beneath my feet. Just, I guess, saltier and drier. Well, definitely drier. But it was magical. I really enjoyed our time on the flats. And more for you Star Wars fans out there. Scenes from Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope in 1977, filmed here too. And just a short drive away is the Devil's Golf Course. I guess it's named because, quote, only the devil could play golf here. So here we have the Devil's Golf Course. It's crystallized salts. Make all these jagged formations. Let's look over here. Wow, as far as you can see. Okay, this to me looks like snow, really, doesn't it? But that's all salt. Pretty neat. Be sure to visit Dante's View, which was a backdrop for the scenes where Luke Skywalker and Obi-Wan Kenobi first see Mos Eisley from afar, declaring, quote, "You'll never find a more wretched hive of scum and villainy," unquote. But even if you've never seen the movie, I think you'll love the view of the salt flats below. So that's the road we take up here. Pretty steep and pretty windy. And we took a 30-minute detour from the main road to travel the scenic Artist Drive to see the famous Artist Palette. The hills here are colored by minerals, causing reds, pinks, greens, even turquoise. But we were a bit disappointed. The colors just weren't there. Perhaps you need to visit at sunrise or sunset for a more vivid landscape. In the evening, as we left the park to go to our hotel, something big crossed the road in front of us. And it definitely wasn't a mirage, though for a second I had to double check. It was an ostrich, just standing there in the middle of Death Valley. What? This wasn't in any of the guides. I was pretty sure ostriches don't roam freely in the park. We were simply floored. Later, at our hotel, the Armagosa Opera House, hey, more on that in our next video, we found out that this ostrich was an escapee from a nearby farm. Well, the next morning, we drove from Death Valley Junction towards the Panamint Springs exit.
Go across the street.
And,
no.
Yep.
Jesus.
There was our ostrich again. But this time, I came a little too close.
Careful, honey. Okay.
You're gonna cross the street so I can take one in there.
Maybe it wanted to ride, or maybe it was just lost and hoping for directions. Both my cousin and I felt sorry for it. And later we learned that 3 had escaped from the ostrich farm when somebody left the gate open.
Hello.
Hi.
And this was the last one to be captured.
Okay, fella, I need to leave.
Look at him, look at him. Oh my God.
Before leaving the park, we stopped at the Mesquite Flat Sand Dunes. They're named for the trees that grow there, which kind of look like driftwood coming out of the sand. This definitely reminds me of Silver Lake sand dunes back home in Michigan. Well, except instead of Lake Michigan, you've got majestic mountains behind you. And yes, this was also a Star Wars filming location. The Return of the Jedi used this area as a stand-in for Tatooine. Not sure how to pronounce that. Our final stop was Father Crowley Vista Point in Rainbow Canyon, which is more than 5 miles long and up to 5,000 feet wide. It was used by fighter jets for low-level flight training, and these planes would fly just 200 feet above the canyon floor at insane speeds. But after a fatal crash in 2019, military training was halted. Now it's more of a quiet place for reflection and to enjoy the view. And ironically, it's nicknamed Star Wars Canyon, even there was no actual Star Wars scenes filmed here. Go figure. Death Valley always lives up to its name. Hot, dry, but unforgettable. But this time, it gave us a story we'll never forget. Next up, we head to Kings Canyon and Sequoia National Parks for towering trees and cooler temps, and hopefully more surprises. And remember, adventure awaits.
Then we went on to Death Valley, and we had the most surprising.
Oh my God.
Okay? This is an animal that we did not think we would see.
Never have I ever.
Period. You know, unless maybe we were in Africa or something. I don't know. An ostrich, a full-size ostrich, was in the middle of the road. Yeah.
Surprise.
Don't know.
Yeah.
And otherwise, that's about it for wildlife that we saw, wasn't it? Yeah.
Oh, we saw some lizards.
Oh, yeah, some little lizards.
And a water beetle.
Yeah, that was the biggie. Yeah.
In
Yeah.
the bathroom.
But
Sorry.
otherwise, we saw some beautiful scenery, and but we're very glad to be here because what is it, about 9:15, which would be at 11:45 back home. So
12. Yeah,
quarter
you're
to
right.
12, quarter to midnight. So it has been a long, long day. But anyway, we had a good first day, and we look forward to tomorrow.
Yes, we do.
Okay.
Yeah, sleep on, baby.
Yeah, exactly.
Ah.